So okay guys, so in this class, like actually what we will be learning is nothing but the components. So what are the components and what are what is the use of the components, so on. Okay, so and how to create the components. So we know that all the components are being created using the JSX. So what is JSX? So JSX is nothing but, as I told you, that is nothing but JavaScript plus XML. So and I've also been explained in the previous class, that is nothing but what is a JSX and what is the difference between JSX and that is normal HTML or XML. So I have already told you over here. See, these are the notes that which have been given, right? And have already told you how to create one of the components. Okay, so you can, if you guys just don't know, you can also just ask me the questions, so how to create and so on. So and now in this today's class, like what we will be doing is, so actually till here it is done for the yesterday's class. So today's is nothing but, what's the day? It is 27th, right? 27th 8 24. So today we'll be learning about something called as what is components. So I'll make this to 23. What is components? And 24, so this is our question, right? What is components and what are the types of components that which we have? So these all are types of interview questions, so that it will be helpful for you to crack your interview. So I'll just split my screen towards one side. So over here, that is what are the types of components. So and under the types of components, again we get, that is first one, that is function based component. Function based components, and the second one will be class based components. So let us just first see what is the function based components. So do anyone have any idea what is function based components and class based components? Any idea, guys? So any idea? Huh?
No, sir.
Function based components. So we have already created one of the component. Okay, the function based component we have already been created. So this is how we create a function based component. So function based components is nothing but we create using the JSX only. So this is nothing but we will be creating in the form using the functions. So that is like this one we have created using the arrow function. So you know, like this one have already been explained, like how to create this. So this one how we have been created, we have been created using one of the variable and the function name, and we have used the arrow function, right? So this is nothing but the arrow function, and we are returning the value, and like I am using the like one of the div tag, and I'm writing inside that. So why I'm writing the div over here? Hmm? See, so I'll just show you one of the demo. So function based components. Yeah. So this is how we create one of our function based components. So whatever you write in the form of function. So here what they have done, like they didn't mention the function name and all. So this is how we create one of our function based component. Okay. And what is the next thing that I can tell is, so let me just give only the function based component in the H2, and I'll just show you how to create a class based component. So at that time you will just get one of the idea. So I'll just create my new, that is new file. The file name while you're creating and all will be same, class.jsx. You can give any class name, okay, there is no issue of giving that. So I have just used the class.jsx because you will be able to understand. And I'll also create another thing that is called as function dot. See, and again while creating this, what is the mistake have done, what is the wrong, anyone can identify? Function.jsx. What is the, there is a mistake while creating the class .jsx. What is the mistake? Anyone of you?
Should start from capital.
Yeah, sure. So I'll just rename this. Actually, sometimes when you rename in your system, right, it won't properly take. Better you can just delete that and you can just create it. Sometimes it won't take, it will be created, and while importing and exporting it will trouble you. Okay, so at that time what you can do, you can just create it, class.jsx, and I'll just create my function based component, that is I'll make use of shortcut, that is okay. This is our function based component. I'll just write this line over there. And how to call this over there, guys, in my the previous, what I can tell, in this app.jsx, how to call, just you need to open the bracket and you need to type whatever the function, whatever the file name it is. So it is like just a function I have given, and function. So I am not getting that, why am I not getting? Okay, function and function, I'll just copy this and I'll paste it, slash. It is not showing an auto suggestion. Sometimes it might not show you the auto suggestion. So at that time what you can do, you can just go and import it. Import it. I am importing, that is nothing but the function from dot slash components dash function dot jsx. So let me just run this. So before running I need to just enter into my current path of the folder, and then I'll be running it using npm start. So it is just getting started. Yeah, am I getting the output? Hmm? You might have the confusion. See, am I getting the output? So if you are getting confused, I'll just remove the top layer. So let me only display this one, that is only this output. So am I getting this function based components over here? So this is how you create the function based component. So this is how you create. But how do you create the class based component? So how do you create class based components? Hmm? So how do you create? Any idea, guys? Any idea? How do you create?
Not sure.
Okay. See, usually how do you create a class based component is nothing but actually there is not much requirement of creating a class based component, but at least you need to know how like usually we create and so on. Okay. So I'll just open my class based component. So the similarly importing will be same. So every import will be at the top of that only. So first I'll be like importing my React, and then I'll be using class okay. So this is how we write using the class based component. Okay, you might feel this is bit complicated, right? You will be using a class keyword and whatever the button or anything. So here I'll be using any that is a component name or anything, and we need to just make sure that we are creating one of the components. So for that I am using this react dot component. Okay, so I am just creating the component, and let us see like what are the options that we get while creating this. See, we'll be able to create something called as children, and we will be able to create a what component and pure component, so on. So there are many options actually. Okay, so but we will be usually creating the component. So this is how you usually create using the component in the version of, what is the version I told? Hmm? What is the version?
18.3.
Yeah. So this is how you usually create it. So suppose if I want the same class name, what I'll be doing? I'll be making it as class, and I will change this to div, and I can write it over here. So how do we call this over there? How do we call this same class over there? Hmm? How do we call class? Can we get an auto suggestion? No. Let me just, why am I not getting an auto suggestion? Class and slash of class.jsx. Will we get the output? Hmm? Class is defined but never used. So the export is exported, and let me check the output. We are getting some of the error. I'll just use the export default also. Yeah, am I getting the output now? So there is something called as props over here. So this is our next topic that which we will be learning. So don't worry about this. See, am I getting? So this is how you will be writing. So this is in actually multiple lines. Okay, it is similar to that only, but you will be using what I can tell, you will be using the class keyword, and then you will be doing. So it is better, like actually we will be doing everything in the function based component only. So this one is for a demo I am showing for you guys. So here, what are the things that we have used? Nisha, can you explain?
In the component or function, sir?
In the class component.
Okay. So first we have used a keyword class.
Okay.
And then we have created using React component.
Okay.
And then we have rendered the function, like whatever the function that we return, it is rendered to the app.js.
Okay.
And after return, we have
okay.
written some HTML, like what has to be come on the page. And
Yeah.
then we have exported the same.
Okay.
Export default.
So which one do you feel easy? This or this?
Function.
Yeah. What about Vidya?
Functional component is easy, sir.
Yeah. Actually, this was before, and what is the advantages? And there are some advantages and there are some disadvantages also. So this is your assignment. So you need to find out like what is the advantages and disadvantages of using these two things. Okay. So I'll just make a note over here. That is nothing but over here the 25th question. This is for note. Advantages and disadvantages. Of these two things. Okay, function based components and the class based components. There might be any advantages and disadvantages, that one you need to find out. Okay, so what like this one is for your demo that I have showed. Actually we will not be using this thing, so you guys don't need to worry. So I'll just comment this. I'll just comment it in the parent. So which is the parent element, which is the parent tag for this one? The parent component of this, you can usually tell. Which is the parent tag? Parent component for this class. See, the parent was nothing but the app.jsx. So I have just commented this. Okay, so now what we will be doing is there is something called as props. So do you know what is props, guys? Any idea of props? What is props? Hmm? In
Properties.
Okay, properties. And I'll give some of I'll give some 4 to 5 minutes. Like you can just go with the topic of props and states. Okay, so that time it will be easy. You will be easily understanding this topic. So you guys can just go with this topic, that is props and state. You guys just search what it is. Then I'll let you know. So I'll just pause it. So I think so you have just gone through that topic. What is props? Pavan, what is props? Have you gone through?
They are read-only components.
Huh? What is props?
The data can be passed from one component to another component.
Okay. So basically, what is a prop? See, the props are nothing but a prop is nothing but it is a component. What I can tell, it is a property or a data. So you can just take that question also. You can note down that also. Where is that? Twenty-sixth dot. What is prop and (27) props are used to pass the data from one component to the another components. So props are nothing but you can also tell this as one property. Property. Props are nothing but you can just tell a properties. So what are the properties of one person? What are the properties of one person? Person. The properties of a person. So what are the properties of one person? You can just give an example.
Appearance, character.
You can just take it generally like age, name. These all comes under the properties only over here. You can just take name, comma, age, comma, and height and weight, so on. Okay, so I'll just take name and age over here for an example. So how do we pass this? There is something in definition only that you will be able to see. So props are nothing but we'll be exchanging the data from, so I'll just show you how it works. That is, see, this is one of our component and this is the another component. Okay, so we need to, so this will be a parent component and this will be our child component. So we need to pass the data from here to here. Okay, so at that time we will be using the props method. So at that time we will be using nothing but we will be using a concept called props, I can tell. We will be using a concept called props and we will be sending the data from here to here. Okay, so we will be using the, what I can tell, props concept. So I can just erase this and this. So we will be using the props concept and then we will be sending. So let us, I'll show you a nice diagram of that. So how does that work? So I'll like to show this diagram. Yeah, so this is our main parent component actually. Okay, so from here I'll using the props I can send the data over here and I can send the data over here also. Okay, so here it is in only one flow, so I'll be able to send in the form of parent to child, not child to parent. Okay, I'll not be able to send the data in the form of like child to parent. I can only send the data by parent to child. So let me just also note down that point, that is nothing but 28 using the props we can only send the data from parent to child and grandchild. And 28 ninth, but we cannot, I just write this, we can't send the data from child component to the parent. Okay, so this is the point that you need to note down. So what I am telling, what I'm meaning, what is the meaning of this statement? Hmm? So suppose see, I'm just creating, I'll just create two different components. Okay, that is nothing but one is p parent dot and JSX. So I'll just create a component So I have just created my component and I'll call this child component inside my parent component, that is child and I'll just import it React from, sorry, not React, import child from child. Okay, see the mistake again what I have done. What is the mistake I have done again? I didn't use this as capital, and over here also again I need to go and change it. So this one also should be in capital and this one should be in capital. So I'll just change this to capital and this one will be in capital now. So I'll get an auto suggestion, I think so now. Yeah. And see, so I told you, right, whenever you just alter your file, see if you need to change this also. Okay, so you need to change this also, the file name also, because here na whenever I take using the auto suggestion, it will show the lowercase only, but you need to change this because the whenever we alter one of the thing, that is what I can tell, whenever you just rename your file, it will not just take once, sometimes. So at that time you can just better you can go and you can type it manually while importing it. Okay, so I'll just show you if you want. Child, see, even though if it is showing a warning, it don't need to worry about this. So have just called the child component inside a parent component. Now I need to pass this inside my app.js. So what I'll do, I'll just comment even this function and I'll only take my, that is parent import parent from dot slash component slash parent. So done. Let me see the output what I am getting. I am getting the blank page. So why am I getting a blank page? Because I didn't write any data inside my child. Hi. So will I get hi displayed? It is getting displayed. So now what is the main task that we will be doing is we need to use something called as props, right? So how do we pass that props? How do we pass that props? Anyone have any idea how to pass the props? Any one of you? How to pass the props? Anyone?
Using props keyword.
Huh?
Using props keyword.
Using props where?
The function.
Inside the function. Over here. Or inside the parent.
Constant child.
Okay, I'll use props. First you need to declare here, na? First you need to declare it over here, that is nothing but, first I'll be declaring one of my props, that is I'll take name as I told over here. See here I have taken the name and age, right? So I'll just take that only over here. Name is equals to what I can give. I'll just give Anu. So if I want to access that, what I'll be doing? So if this is the correct way, props, and if I want to access that, I'll use an argument props dot. So if this is the correct way, so if this is the correct way, I need an answer from you guys. This is the correct way. So I need to just take here.
What property?
Huh? See, here is also an example. At least by looking this, you can just tell me. I need you guys to guess. If that is a correct
We
way.
haven't used what property?
What?
We haven't named what property it should accept. Like we have just used a keyword,
Okay.
but we haven't, like here it is prop dot name age and all. Like here we haven't mentioned anything.
No, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. See, I'm just showing the example also for you guys. So this is our parent component and this is our child component. I'm showing the example also. Actually what I did is, it's correct only. Name. Am I getting the output? Where I have passed that data. If I make this like this, and if I enter the numbers, it will just take, because since it is a string, I need to give it in the form of string. I'll just I'll make it Vidya only. So my output will be now Vidya. So this is nothing but passing the data from the parent to the child. So what if I want to pass other things? So what are the properties that usually one of our what I can tell, one of the child can hold? I can just use other things also. Age is like something 24, and I'll just make what all I can just give. I'll just give second name is equals to, I'll just give just dash dash, and I'll give phone number, I'll just give dash 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 for even that. It is not accepting. Why dash dash is not accepted? Why this is not accepted? It is throwing an error because it is not a number. So I'll just write 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and I'll write 0. And other things, what all the things that they have, I can take a blood group, blood, I'll just write in short form BG group. So this will be in form of string. I'll just leave dash dash. So all these things you can just access using one of the prop only. So how do you access it, that one now? How do you access? How do we access that data?
Props.age.
Props dot, I'll just take as name and props dot age, and next one is props dot child, and next one is this props dot children is not there, sorry. Props dot, what is the next one? It is
Blood group.
yeah, phone number and props dot, see these all things that you can use. Props dot group, and again you need to make sure this one and that is the like spellings are correct. If you make any one of the mistake, it will not work. See, for an example, this will not work if you don't mention a proper data. I'll just refresh this. See, I am getting the data. Okay, I am getting the second name also and this one also. I'll just write one of my break tag. So or else I can write this one inside one of my h1 tag. So you can use any number of tags over here, okay? Not an issue with that. So I'll copy this and write it over here, and I'll copy this and I'll take another h1 into 3, I'll paste it, copy it, and I'll paste it, copy it, and I will paste it. So what are the data I am getting now? So where is my output? See, I am getting my name, and I am also getting the whatever the second name which I have given, and I am getting the age also, but I am not getting the phone number. So if I just give a proper thing, I'll be able to get. And there is some other concept that what is props drilling. So the another concept is nothing but props drilling. That is nothing but sending the data from parent to child and child to grandchild. Okay, so this is how it goes on. So imagine that I'll just create another component called as grand child dot JSX okay, and here what I'll be doing, I'll just call all the things. So before calling that, how do we pass that data? I'll just take your props, and if I just call it like the same thing over here, will I get the data? Will I be able to get the data? In the grandchild, if I go and if I just pass it, and this only I'll just call this grandchild data directly over here, that is inside app.jsx. So we'll copy this. So will I be able to get that? I'm not getting that data. So what should I do? What should I do, guys, if I want to get that data? So can I write only, that is grandchild tag, and if I do, will I be able to get? I'm not able to get it. What should I do then?
Should we import the grandchild as
Huh?
should apply, sir?
So should I pass it like this, or how I should pass? What we need to do? What we need to do? I've imported this also. So this is your assignment. So that is 30 what is props drilling and give any two examples. Okay, so this is your assignment, guys. I think so you guys will be able to do this. So any doubts how this props is working? Any doubts?
Not,
Okay.
not,
And coming to the states, what is a state? Again, have you gone through what is state? What is a state? I need the response.
like it allows to store the data and then change it over time.
Yeah, even this is also doing the same thing, right?
But you need to change it in the child if you want to.
data. Okay, it is used to store the data and I can also tell it as what I can tell. I can also tell this something properties or something. It is used to store the data, and you cannot send the data to the other components. Okay, it will be stored in the same component itself, and you can actually tell this it is used to store the data in the same see, components component. It is used to store the data in the same component. So before that, what is the question is third one, sorry, 31st. What is a state? Okay, so and the proper definition of state is nothing but, I can just give an answer for this also. State is a real time data. So it is a real time data. Okay, you need to note down this also. It is a real time data. I'll tell you why we are calling it as real time data, and available to use within the component only. Okay, so we can only use it is used to store the data in the same component. Okay, and we like within the same component only you will be able to do you will be able to access that. Okay, you will not be able to access between different component. So here is one of the diagram which I said you na. So props means it can just pass the data from that is one component to the another component, but state means it can be reused in the same component. It cannot be sent in the different components. So suppose if you want to send the state from one component to the another component, you will be making use of props, and then you will be sending. Okay, so this one like making use of the state and then props and then sending the data, you don't need to worry about this. Okay, so first we will understand what is state and the props. And so how do we declare one of the state, and how do we access in the function based components? So that one let us first understand. So I think so here is there is one of the beautiful example for you guys, so that you can understand what is state. Actually this is nothing but useState is one of the React hook. Okay, so anything that you can understand over here? Anything you can understand? What is it like what you are able to understand? See, first I'll just show you in the normal format, that is nothing but I'll just take one thing called one component called as state j6, and inside this I'll comment this both the things so you will not get confused. I'll just take state So I am getting some error. I think so I have not created the body for this. Yeah. Okay. So the error is gone. Yeah. So the state, in the sense, I'll be using one of my use state, and then I can create it. So what is use state? You don't need to worry. I'll be just telling you guys. Don't need to worry about the use state and all. Okay. So you can just take this directly also. So you can actually directly take this also. And how to before that I will just take const name is equals to Anu. Okay. So if I want to use this, can I use like this Anu? Am I getting the output? So am I getting the output? Okay, this one is okay. Suppose what if I just have one button, and so this is how you usually create one of the state, guys. This is nothing but one of the state, and I'll be able to call this over here also, and I'll be able to call this multiple times. So how many times you want, you can call now n number of times. So is it printing? So inside the button I will give on click. I'll show you the output. See, am I getting this? Am I getting one button? I'll just give one break tag. So am I getting the output of a state? State is nothing but we store the data, and then we will just what I can tell. See, then we will be doing. So what if I want to click over here and this state has to be changed? Okay, this state has to be changed. At that time, what I will be doing, I just take this and I will just copy it over here. Set name. Okay. So this is how which have used, and what I can do is I'll be able to take one of my method, and I'll be able to change that name. So whenever I just click on this, I need to do. So I'll just pass one of my event over here, that is on click. So whenever I click on this, the every name will be changed into what? That is changed into. So this one will be in form of string. So at that time I think so you will be. See, whenever I click on this, whenever I am clicking on this, at that time I am getting the data. So what is the data I am getting? I am getting John, right? So similarly, what if I want to just change the data whenever I give the my input? So whenever I give my input, that one should just get changed. At that time, what should I do? Hmm? What should I do? So I'll just take one of my input tag, and so whenever I enter this, whenever I enter some name, and if I click over here, this name should be changed. See, I'll just reload. Why this is not working? Yeah, I have given the empty braces over here. Okay. Hi. So if I just click, I'm getting hi. So whenever I just write something inside my input, I'll be able to change something. Okay. So I'll be able to change something over here. Okay. So how to do that? So we will be making use of JavaScript completely over here. That one you know. So how to do that? Hmm? Any idea, guys? How to do? Hmm? Any idea?
So we create a function that accepts user input.
We will.
Create a function.
Okay. So, okay. If you guys want, like, I'll just make this as your assignment for the day. Okay. I know the answer. I'll make the this question as assignment for the day, and I'll explain the another question for you. That is another concept for you. Using with the help of that, you just do this. Okay. So where is that? This one. So I'll explain this. So where's that? Not grandchild. What is the file name I have created? That is state, right? Where is my state file? Yeah. Yeah, I'll just change my name to state. Done. Export default state. See, this is one of the concept that whenever you click on the increment, the number is getting incremented, and whenever you just click on decrement, this is getting decremented. Okay, so I'll just explain this concept how they are just doing over here. Here also similar thing, they have just taken two functions as you told, that is nothing but one is increment session and one is decrement session. Okay, and they have done this. Okay, so what is the thing that they have taken is, so they have taken one of a state that is called as count. Okay, and they are setting the count. They are nothing but they are just setting the count, and then they are taking something called as previous count. So the previous count plus 1. So what is the previous count? How to take that previous count? So from where they are initializing the previous count? Hmm? What is the previous count? How like we are able to take this previous count? Hmm?
So using use state where we have initialized it to 0.
Yeah, this one that they are taking, okay? So this previous count they will take and they will just increment it. See, the 0 plus 1 they are adding, and over here 0 minus 1 they will do. So whenever I am clicking on this, so whenever I am clicking on that particular button, it is just getting incremented and it is just getting decremented. So imagine if I want another button, decrement plus 1, and I need to increment plus 5, and this is minus 5. So what is the function should I write? So I need to copy the same function, right? And I'll also copy this, and I'll make this as minus 5, and this one as minus 5, or else I'll just write 5, decrement 5, increment 5 I'll write, and I'll just change the method name, that is the function call name over here. Okay, so is it correct now? And I also want to change the logic over here. Just I'll change it to 5 and 5. So it will work or not? Will it work? So let us just check. I am incrementing 1 and decrementing 5, so it is getting minus 4, and again I will just increment it, it is again getting coming back to 1. So I'll just show you this 2, 5, and I'll just take it minus 5. So I'll just write here plus 5, so okay. So is it correct? Is it correct now? So over here, by the way, what you are able to understand, the states are nothing but it holds the data and it can be sent only in the particular, what I can tell, it can be done like see it can be called anywhere inside the what? It can be called anywhere inside the function. Okay, so it can be called anywhere inside the component. So I'll just give the definition for that. So actually I have already given over here. So for a rough reference, I'll give my own definition. The state can be used inside the same component n number of times, and we can also change the data of the state. So states can be used inside the same component n number of times. We can use the data state, and we can also change the data of the state. Okay, so we'll be able to change the data of that current state also, of the state of the state. Okay, so for that only actually we call it as real time. Okay, so we call the state as real time data. Okay, it is nothing but, so for that only we call it as real time data. So any doubts in this, why we are using state? Did you understand what is state and what is props? Why we need to use a state, and why do we need props? Because these are main important, the very important topic, guys. These two is very important, this props and state, because everything you will be using in the form of props and states only if you want to pass some data and so on. Guys, I need response from you guys.
No doubt, sir, we understood.
Yeah, okay. What about Vidya? Vidya? Okay. Vaishnavi?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand how it is working?
No, sir. Little bit understood, sir.
Okay. Like, should I explain it again or what?
No, sir, once I complete JS, then I'll ask you.
Okay. And what about Nikhil?
Still have practice.
What?